right, guys, what is going on? Welcome to the stream. It is Friday, right? FAFO Friday, in other words. Okay, we should have good volume today. 18 people. I don't know what it is, man. I'm telling you, Fridays are just not it, man. Fridays are not it. Mason. What's good? MJ, Torty, Naruto, Marshall, Dominic. Or Dominique, whichever it is. What's good? Rich off the dip. 2020. Were you the one that got funded yesterday? Or not funded, the withdrawal yesterday? Was that you? Yeah, Max. I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, what's good, Jay, Manuel? And yeah, congrats to 2020 on that withdrawal. It's nice work. Love to see it. Love to see it. What I do not love to see is days like today. It's just very difficult. Very difficult. At least for me personally. Maybe there's people out there who shorted this morning and killed it going lower. You know, great. More power to them. When I first got to the charts this morning, on like a 15 or hourly, I could have sworn this was news. I was like, oh, that was 7:30 news. And then I looked and it wasn't 7:30. I was like, okay, well, what happened here? I don't know. I have no idea. And I didn't even bother to look either. But Nasdaq. So we took, I want to say this is Asia, right? We took Asia's low 12, like 2.5 hours ago. Yeah. And ES, let me go over here real quick. Here has a higher high. And NQ does not. So we have a slightly lower high at 20,176. I did mention that in the Discord. So I said that might come into play later. I don't think it's ready to rally up there. And that is why I have an alert at 20,058. So if it was me, when was the last stream we did? Wednesday? Right? Yeah. You remember Wednesday? And we talked about, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but if it were me, I would run it lower and then run it higher. And then it did that, like, to the script. Remember Lee Bright was on here and I was like, yeah, I agree with Lee Bright. I think it's gonna do that. And then it did exactly that. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think something similar is likely to take place. I think we could sweep 20,058 and then run it. That's what I'm thinking. And I thought about that since, like, over here. Once price was, like, not rallying, we just kind of hit that imbalance and then easily gave it up. I was like, okay, we'll probably go ahead and take this low. If it is going to reverse, then I could see us trading above that. The next available imbalance on a 5-minute time frame is 20,191. So, you know, again, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, something to do with Ukraine. Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't look it up. But that does make sense though. What's good, Ram? What's good, Gessner and Alex C? Yeah. So that's what I think the plan is for today. ES following suit, doesn't have the same highs. I don't think we've made a low of day. If we do, if this is the low of day and we rally from here, then I guess I'll be wrong. I guess I'll be wrong. If I am wrong, we would probably have to rally here for Dow. Even though we left behind another set of lows. So that's wonderful. Thursday, yesterday, we took that low a little bit. And Dow today is absolutely weak. So highs up here, couldn't get there. We dumped. Retracement just like the other two. Imbalance here. And a continuation down to, again, yesterday's low here. So I would, if it were me, I would avoid Dow. I will not be trading Dow today. I might not even trade at all, to be honest. Part of me wants to find something, and that's all I can think of is NQ having these clean highs here as a internal set of highs, right? So internal range liquidity there. I like that. But like I said, if we are going to take that, I think people trying to long, or they're trying to look at this like a demand zone, are going to try and long it, stop at that low. I think that's going to get jammed again first before we run higher. But if we go ahead and launch from here, nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. And that's what I'm saying, Mason. Like, you could still have a setup. You know what I mean? Like, you could still long, sure. But it's the weakest index. We don't have like an internal upside other than just that's a singular high versus, again, with two highs like NQ. We can still get that. But the only other high probability target on the upside besides an imbalance would be these highs up here. And I don't see us going up there today. We could. I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, it would take something serious for us to get up there. And today is just not giving those vibes. You know what I mean? How's that for technical analysis? Vibes analysis. What's good, Lucas? When are you going to show us your magic crystal ball? Never. The genie inside the magic crystal ball grants me the future. But all of that goes away if I show it to you. So, can't do that. What's good, Libra, right? What do you think, Libra? Are you in the same boat as me? Kind of like a repeat of Wednesday, run the low and then potentially run it higher? Is that what you're going with, or are you going with something different? Because Dow has taken yesterday's low. Yesterday's low, we're not even close to that for NQ. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, Lee Brett has his own crystal ball as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's charged up, sometimes it's not. What's good, Leon? 78. Oh man, I wish it was cooler. I have yet to drop the top. I roll down the window sometimes, but I have yet to take the roof off. I want to do it soon. That has nothing to do with the price actions today, but the chat is right above the weather and the time. So I see the weather and it says 78, mostly sunny. It's like, it's a little bit too hot. You know what I mean? It's a little bit too hot for top down. What do you guys have planned for today and or this weekend? Personally, I am getting rid of some of the books that I have. They're either books that I have read that were garbage or they're books I'm just never going to read. So I got rid of like 6 or 7 books like the other day, and now I'm going to get rid of like another 10 probably. Probably no more than that though. And then I rearranged two different bookshelves. No, 3. 2 regular ones and then one on the wall. I rearranged it a bit. That's good, Lucas. Work and read Mark Douglas. Which Mark Douglas book are you talking about? Mental model book coming in today. Going to start it. Finished ego. Ego's the enemy, I think, is what you're referring to, Mason. You know what's interesting is I was going to tell you that. So I just got this in, right? The Great Mental Models by Shane Parrish. And I read 75% of it in one day. And then I finished the rest of it the next day. It was a really easy read. Some of the pages are just quote, like there's just one quote. And then a lot of the title, what do you call it? Like where the text starts, it starts at like half the page. So it's relatively short. Let me show you. This is what I mean. Maybe not halfway, but most of it. Right? So there's one page is a quote, and then the other page, it starts like with a big margin. So I think it's worth the read. I think it's cool. But I, like most people, I probably will not be getting the second, the third, and the fourth one. I'll probably just leave this one and just keep that. And then I read 90% of Thoughts of a Philosophical Fighter Pilot by Jim Stockdale, excuse me. Well, his real name is James Bond Stockdale, but I guess it goes by Jim Stockdale. So there's like 2 small chapters left, and that's it. So I'll be finishing that probably after the stream. €350. That is a scam. 2 TPs this morning. Now I'm just watching price because I'm done for today. No, that's good. That's good, Dom. That's how I was yesterday with NQ, right? Capturing most of the day's range and then just saying, all right, I'm absolutely done. That is it. Reminiscence of a stock operator. That was Jesse Livermore, wasn't it? Was I always into reading? Hell no. I hated reading growing up because we read dumbass books in high school. Oh, we have a slightly lower low there. And a higher low. One NQ. We used to read really terrible books in high school, middle school, high school, dumbass shit. And I used to think that all books were like that. I'm like, this sucks. Why can't we read something that is actually interesting? But part of me also believes I was a little bit immature being 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, you know? But I've said this many, many times over the years. We never heard about personal development. We never heard about Stoic philosophy, mental models, psychology, you know, to the degree of someone like Robert Greene, Laws of Human Nature, 48 Laws of Power, stuff like that. So all of it was like either a history book or To Kill a Mockingbird or, you know, Night by Elie Wiesel, that was the first book I ever read. That's what got me excited about reading. But I didn't really get into reading a lot until probably I was like 24, maybe 25. So it's only been about 6 years. But trust me, you can get a lot of reading done in 6 years. Like looking back, I'm like, damn, I read a lot. But that's not what it's not about that. It's not about reading to read. Just for the sake of like, oh yeah, look at my bookshelf. That's good for promoting the idea of reading, of course. But you read for the content. You read to become a better person. You read to think better and to do better. Yeah, Mason, that's what I'm saying. I used to hate reading. It just turns out we read the wrong shit. Like Ryan Holiday, I love his books. Shane Parrish, even like Clear Thinking, that's another one of Shane Parrish's books. Clear Thinking was solid. I liked it. That was an easy read. Did we just get like a little spike in volatility there? At 1222? What's going on? Is there like more news that I'm not aware of? Or is that just the markets being the markets today? Oh, I don't know. I do not know. But if that is our low and we run this, dude, that is a scam. That is a grade A fucking scam. If that's actually if that takes place, dude, the markets are a scam. Straight scam. But anyway, what was I saying? Like Ryan Holiday's books, easy reads. Shane Parrish, easy read. You know, quick, easy, valuable, not that expensive, I'd say. But I guess expensive is relative. I try not to pay more than $25 a book. If it's like a brand new book, yeah, you probably spend 25, 30 bucks. But I try not to spend more than say 15 to 16. A lot of those on Amazon are going to be priced right around that. And that's why I like used bookstores too. Because now you're only going to pay like $5, $4, maybe $6 or $7 a book. The only bad part about used bookstores is just like me with the books I'm getting rid of, people mostly get rid of the shit they don't want. So they're getting rid of bad books. So it's hard to find good books in used bookstores or books that are not outdated. You know, like, oh, this is a marketing book, but it was written in like 2005. Okay, well, marketing has changed in the last 20 years. So that book is pretty much obsolete now. stuff like that. So then used bookstores get full of junk and dust. But I still like them though. You get a gem every once in a while. That's why I found this one. One of my favorite daily readers, the Maxwell Daily Reader. This was a used one. And when I found it at the store, I looked through it and it had never been read. I mean, the pages, there's no dog ears. That's when you like take the corner and like bend it. There's no dog ears, there's no food stains, highlights, pens, nothing. It's like they just never touched it. I'm like, a hardcover used, which is basically brand new. Shit. I took that one and then I gave away the paper one that I had. I think. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I gave it away. I got rid of it either way. But yeah. That's my yapping about bookstores and used books. What I need to do is go on tour to all the used bookstores in Houston. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of them. Yeah, that is strange to me. We get a run below these lows, but we don't run the low of day. What type of shit is that? Come on, chat. What type of shit is that? It'd be a good day to walk away and go read a book. Know what I mean? I have a big green chair, bookshelf right behind it, and in between, to the right of it, in between the bookshelf and the chair, I have a small table that has a drawer in it. And then behind that, I have a big lamp with a remote. So it's like I can sit down in front of the bookshelf, read whatever I want, got the extra light. It is awesome. Light a candle or some shit, you're good to go. Would you mind explaining how you reached your directional bias? It's all based on liquidity. Trayvon, it is all based on liquidity. My bias right now technically is bearish because I do want us to go higher, but I want to see us go lower first. So overall, higher. Immediately, I would say lower. What's good, Brian? Oh, see, now we get more people. It only takes you half the session to get on here. Or maybe you guys just think like, all right, he streams 12 to 1, but I'm going to hop on at 12:30 because he's going to bullshit for the first 30 minutes. Hey, man. Maybe I'll just start at 12:30 on Fridays. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do that. If you guys hate me, just say it. It's okay. I hate you, John. That's okay. You wouldn't be the first. You wouldn't be the last. You know what I mean? It's all good. Yeah. I normally don't say like, "Oh, this is an awful day. This is bad price action." I don't really believe 99% of the time that there's bad price action. It's only bad to you. So to me, I don't really like today so far. But that's me. You know what? And that actually brings me to a good point. If you... Brian's on the job, well, don't get fired, Brian. Don't get fired. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. On my Instagram story yesterday, yeah, I said, here's something to think about. And I talked briefly, because it's only like 30 seconds or something, a minute maybe, on the Instagram story. So I said, the markets won't do the same things every day, meaning it may not present a buy model every day. It may not present a sell model every day. Some days are higher, some days are lower, some days consolidate, some days there is news, some days there's no news. And I said, but what is consistent, what never changes, is time. 9 o'clock will always be 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock will always be 10. 1 o'clock is always 1, so on and so forth. And what I was trying to do, even for the people that I guess may not watch the live streams because they don't want to learn how to make money, I guess, or make more money, I guess, is I try to get people to start thinking, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? The markets do this and do that, but time is always the same. What do you think that means? We talk about concept-based entries. Mitigations, imbalances, inversions, this, that, and a third. Or even like a logic. Buying the 25% fib or 50% fib or whatever. But why would time be such an important factor? You definitely said this in one of your videos, but how do you determine the low of the day? I don't always know when the low of the day is going to be set. That's what you're risking. When you have a low risk buy, that's what you're risking. You're saying the low of the day has been set. This is low risk and high reward. It's low risk because if you're long, it'll make a lower low. And you get stopped out and you lose a little bit of money. But you stand to gain a lot more than you lose. So that's kind of the whole point. I don't always know if the low of the day has been set. I'll know once we trade like back above 50, 75%. I'll go, yeah, that was it. It's always like an educated guess, basically. If you want to be technical, it's an educated guess. Was good, Big James. So time, what's important about time? Okay. Time-based entries. There's time-based exits too. Now, I will tell you, I do not know enough about time-based exits to trade that way, and much less to teach that. Okay? I can talk about time-based entries all fucking day. Time-based exits, you could invert it, I guess. You could say, okay, well, we took highs and then ran lower. Okay, so the open of the next candle, if we trade higher, I'll exit to go lower. I mean, I guess that could be a time-based exit, but I don't do that. I exit purely based on liquidity, or if it's a trading combine, it would be like a cutoff because price has not ran to my target yet, which is what happened with silver a couple weeks ago. But the market, okay, is going to be open at 8:30. That never changes. So that's always equities open. How do you get from 8:30 to 12? Or 8:30 to 11, 8:30 to 10:30? It's simply going to take that amount of time to get there. And every candle has an open, high, low, and close. Every single one. Now, sometimes if we don't have a wick, the high and the open Sometimes it could be the same, stuff like that. Yes, that does occur. But if you're entering at 950, like at the beginning of a macro, for example, if you miss it, you still have to open. Did I say 950? Then you still have like 10 o'clock in the market trading below the open of 10 o'clock to go long, if that's what you're trying to do. So time will always be a factor, and it's always scheduled, and it's never late. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work that way. That's what I was trying to get you guys to think about. So when you combine the two, a time-based entry with a concept, that's when it becomes powerful. And that's part of the time, price, and context formula, the law of high probability. I don't even know what you're saying, Brian. I don't even know what you're saying right now. But good God, look at this 1 minute time frame. Look at this. I mean, if you were even in a trade, this ain't it for me. Oof. I see a lot of concepts form in the macro time. I kind of like it. Well, that's good. It's a good observation. Oh, you're saying if we take the low to do the lazy traders model? I mean, hey, that's up to you. That is entirely up to you. I guess you could. It's just not a clear and obvious market maker sell model. I would include this as an original consolidation or something like that. I don't think we're going to make a new high of day. I mean, if we do, we do, but I don't think so. But I would include that as a, if I were going to do the lazy traders model, let's say we run that low down to this, I would look at it like that. But I doubt we're going to get this today. So I would not do that. Yeah, Torty, that's a good way of putting it. Indices are in weekend mode. I agree. We've been stuck in this range. ES as well. Stuck in the same range. Even some clean highs over here. I don't even know what to say about the Dow Jones. I really don't. What do you say to this? I don't know. I'm going to take the market's realist approach. You always have the option of not having an opinion. I sure as shit don't have an opinion for Dow. So there's that. What does the 1 hour even look like? Yeah, this probably doesn't look that great either. Initially this morning, I thought we were going to trade higher. I thought we were going to go to 20,337. I mean, that seemed reasonable up here. I thought we would extend up there. We did not. So, if it ain't doing what I think it's going to do, I probably should not trade it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be trying to force something. Yeah. It's just it's hard to trust. Like, even like, let's just say, for example's sake, someone was looking at this and they're like, okay, I want to long this now. So what's a reasonable stop? I guess that low based on a short-term run or a short-term sweep. Okay. But I just don't trust these right here. These are those highs that I was referring to a few minutes ago. So that's all of like 1 point away. That's cool, I guess. But yeah, 1222. You know, I don't know. I mean, it looks like maybe there was a tweet or something. Something must have happened over there. We don't usually just move like 15 points in a minute or two for like no reason. As a beginner to intermediate trader, I would journal every trade, Torty. Do I take trades sometimes and not journal? Yeah. I didn't journal yesterday's trade. I could go back and do it, I guess, but I already know why I took it and told you why I did. I've already done, all of that. So I guess I could go back and do it, but I've been doing this a long time. But if I was a beginner intermediate trader, that's what I would do every trade. So, all right. So there's those highs on ES. I guess we'll see if NQ follows suit. Not here, but up here. What is it, 1243? Yeah. So we'll watch the macros as usual. We'll see if anything presents in there. But Sorty, if we use the inversion mental model for a second and some second order thinking here. The mental model of a inversion, okay? Not an inverted concept. That's nowhere near the same shit. A mental model of an inversion is by knowing more of what to do by avoiding what not to do, right? So from a trading perspective, you would learn more of what to do by avoiding what not to do. How do you know what not to do? Look at your losses. If you don't look at your losses, if you don't review your trading journal or your performance to some level of metrics. I mean, there's like TradeZella, there's my FX book. I mean, there's all type of ways to look at your analytics. And if you don't look at them, if you don't look at the dumbass trades you took or the losses, maybe it was a good trade, you just took a loss. You followed your rules, but you took a loss. Like, okay, there's still something that you can learn from that, though. So if you never learn from your mistakes, you're going to keep repeating them. So if Torty, if we were to focus only on the winning trades, yeah, you know a lot of what to do, but that's not a complete, well-rounded trader, in my opinion. You need to learn also of what not to do. Does that make sense? So that's kind of like the inversion there. Now, some second order thinking. What are the consequences of a trader who only journals the winning trades and doesn't journal the losers? Well, they don't learn from their mistakes. So if they don't learn from their mistakes, they're going to underperform because they're going to keep making the same mistakes. So second order thinking would basically say, what are the repercussions of this underperformance? Maybe taking longer to pass a combine, or maybe longer and a higher number of trades to pass a combine. You see what I'm saying? So learn some mental models, apply the mental models. You like that? I should have clipped that. It's all your fault, Torty. Damn. It's all your fault. $2020, I did not even look at regular trading hours today, to be honest. I have no idea what's even over there. Yeah, you're getting banned because we're looking at Dow. And this looks like a toilet after Taco Bell. You know what I mean? This just, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay. To be fair, you could argue, yeah, we did trade into a discount of yesterday's, Wednesday, Thursday's gap. Sure. But overall, this still looks horrendous. This still looks trash. And I don't like it. And now you're banned. Okay? So that's the last question you ever get. Good luck to you. You're welcome, Torty. I hope other people got value from that. I hope you guys got value from that. They're simple ideas. Second order thinking and inversion. That's it. Those are the two models that we use to come to that conclusion. Or to answer your question and come to the most advantageous answer. So, drop some ones in the chat if you guys are paying attention. Or at least listening, I guess. There's not really a lot to pay attention to, but at least if you're listening, you might be like, oh, well, that makes some sense. That makes sense. You learn more of what to do by learning what not to do. And you have to think about the consequences of your actions. That's second order thinking. Very simple, but powerful. So, there it is. Okay, well, it's starting a lot to look like we're going to run those highs. You know what I mean? That is what it's starting to look like. But again, that still to me is crazy. That is borderline diabolical that we left the AM sessions low open, untapped. That's wild to me. But you know what, chat? Like I said, I'm not always right. Sometimes I get it wrong. I like being imperfect in front of people because it shows you that, you know what I mean? We're not always right. Okay, now we're coming up on the macro. So look, if you force me to take a trade, if you're like, yo, John, you gotta take a trade, like you have to pull the trigger on something, I'd probably long that imbalance. I'm not telling you to. I'm not gonna do it. But I mean, you know, if you had, I don't know, something I care about under ransom and you were like, yo, I'm about to burn all your bookshelves unless you place a trade, I'd say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't burn my books. All along Nasdaq. You know what I mean? What would, again, do not take a trade. Okay? This is not a signal. This is not an idea. Logically speaking, the most I'd probably get out of that is a 1 to 1.5, which is ass. That's not a good RR. Number two, in this scenario, my stop would be below the imbalance, but there's lows down here. And I just simply cannot, like, based on my own rules and experience, I just can't do it. I can't put real money at risk here. But again, if you were threatening to burn my fucking books, that'd be it. So I'd save the books by doing that. I agree, Mason. That's why I said, even, we'll come back to this, even Dow, same thing. There's lows down here, even though those are below Thursday's low. This still could be, that could be it. That could have been the low of the day, and this could be the same idea, imbalance to go higher. You know what I mean? ES, similar, same imbalance. It's just the lows, man. The lows, I just can't. I can't do it. But we're at the start of a macro. We'll see what we do. I like teaching with live price. I don't always teach with live price. I mean, I don't always tell you what I think, but I told you what I thought earlier. I thought we would run the low. We did not. So clearly, I'm already out of sync, what I would call out of sync with price. It did not do what I thought it would do. And this would be forcing something. And I don't know what the word is. Based on my experience, doing something like this would result in a loss, probably 8 times out of 10. Does that make sense? Forcing something, it's not even doing what I wanted it to do. It's not, I guess, following a certain script or maybe like a trade plan. It's not doing it. So opportunities are endless. You can always find a trade. It's the fact of the trade that you're about to take. Is that something you really want to take, though? This, for me personally, it is not. However, based on order flow, it would have been that imbalance. Stop at the low of the candle that completes it's a 3 candle formation, right? Gunning for that liquidity. How far can price go above highs? The next imbalance, at least on this time frame. You know, I mean, 1 minute could have some whole other shit. You know, I don't know. I have no idea. We got lack of wick up here too. So if we do overshoot that imbalance, you got some leftover business at like 210, 211, 206, something like that. Roughly. 12:55. So this is the open of a new 5-minute candle now. That reminds me, I do have to put my clock. I do have to put a clock in OBS. I haven't done it yet. It's 1:55 still. Okay. So this would be still inside the macro, last 5 minutes of the hour, and then we have the opening of 1 o'clock, which would be the opening of a new hour. Make sense? And then that's it. Now it's just waiting. I'm not even looking at the 1 minute. Strictly kept it to the 5. And now we wait. What else you guys got? Because I'm gonna end the stream here in a couple minutes. Whether we start launching or not, I'm gonna end it either way. Any last minute questions before the weekend? Oof. I have no idea about crypto, bro. I'm the last person you want to ask about crypto. I haven't even looked at crypto in weeks. No, MJ, I do not. I have my Corvette, which is almost a really, really small house. If you think about it. I think I told you guys, my dad told me, he's like, how much did you pay for that Corvette? I told him. And he was like, son, do you realize that car costs more than the fucking house that he had bought when I was like 3 years old? I was like, damn, inflation's up, biatch. But nah. When in trading, do you really sit here and stare at the screen? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. I sit there and stare at the screen. Look at that imbalance. Look at that imbalance. I'd be break even now, probably. The 34, 54. Yeah, I'd probably be break even by now. See, Mason gets it. You can't drive a house, but you can sleep in a car. Done. So open of a new out. Well, we still got like 45 seconds. I'll give this a second here. Ugh. Yucky. Yuck. I'd put one more alert up here too. At the imbalance. At 191. 20,191. What else do you think it was that made me choose that imbalance? Only under extreme circumstances. Because I'm not in this. I told you we'd watch it. And we're watching it. We do have it open of a new hour. So if we are going to expand higher, ideally we should probably trade a few ticks lower before going higher. What else do you guys think would contribute to the idea about that imbalance? Why that one? Because someone, you know what? Someone asked about, like, that was hot shot. What I sit here and stare at the screen. Well, I also have to do it now because it is a live stream. So, but in this case, yeah, I would absolutely be break even. I'd say at least maybe like 3 to 4 points. And then I'd have an alert at the highs. I would not TP there. I would wait for 191. So this would either come down to break even, or it would go to my TP, and that would be it. I wouldn't try to do anything else. Okay. Like my stop. Well, the 1 minute's kind of jank. Would probably just go there. Would probably go to that. Like 3 points. We'll just make it purple. It would go right there. About 3 points, just in case if it came down and I got slipped 1 or 2 ticks, or maybe even 1 or 2 points, I'd still be, protected from not getting, slip past the entry. That would piss me off, probably. Yeah, I agree, Naruto. Discount of the range, and then like what Mason said. That. That was the discount end of this potential inversion and the overlap of the two. But that's it. And that's why I think going break even like that is a little bit fast, honestly. But number one, this isn't a real trade. And number two, I still do not like the fact we didn't run the low. But I don't make the rules. The market's still traded higher. So it's still giving an indication that it wants to run the highs. So this was a last minute ditch effort to say, hey, you were going to burn all my books unless I took a trade. So do something. That's why I went with that. But that's why discount end of the inversion, imbalance here, a little bit of an overlap, and it's on the way to these highs. But the RR is not that great. If we anticipated this to be a breakaway, then yeah, the stop could have went probably a little bit tighter, like at the low end of it. But I wasn't trying to be nothing crazy. Okay. So again, 1 o'clock, we're below the open of the hour, right? We anticipated a retracement lower. And that looks like it would hit my stop at that purple line, 137. Okay. So that right there, me personally, I'd be out break even. And this, I'd say, okay, I'm walking away. And that would be it. So do you see how like frustrating that would be for somebody? Especially like for a young or an intermediate trader. Do you see how frustrating that would be? We sat here for like what? Well, I've been here since 12. And we didn't get the low. We ended up going higher instead. We saw this imbalance during a macro, and it did give us a few points, like 20. And then now it's just back, near that entry again. That to me is not great. I don't like that at all. Even if this happens to fly up there, okay, great. But I'm break even now. So I'm not in anything. And that's why I would not force a trade there. Okay? But watch, because this is a live stream, you know what I mean? Now that I'm out break even, now it's probably going to fly. Now it's probably going to fly. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do about that, chat? Should I call the genie? Should I call the crystal ball or what? But anyway, we're pretty much at the end of the macro. I mean, it ends in like 3 minutes. So all in all, we dipped into the imbalance. We traded a little bit higher. Now we're just back in this range, and we did not see all that much of an extension. So that's it. That's all that I got. You're welcome, MJ. You're welcome, Ram. Y'all be good. Be blessed. Again, if you want to know the 2 alerts, the first one is at 20,176 and a quarter for NQ. And the second one is at that 5-minute imbalance above it at 191. Okay. I'm not saying that's going to be the high of the day, but had there been something presented of what I wanted, the equal highs would either be a partial or just like, hey, we're there. And then 191, I would probably exit a trade. Okay. So with that, I'm going to end it here. I will see you guys again on Monday the 12th. All right. So be blessed. Don't do anything stupid. And I'll see you then. I cannot find an outro song. There we go. Chasing down our happiness, but all we do is make a mess. I'd rather bear the loneliness and to suffer in silence with you. We're always trying